Okay, so we all know the image, right? An athlete on the Olympic podium, tears streaming down their face as they get that medal placed around their neck.
Yeah, the ultimate symbol of athletic achievement.
Right. Years of blood, sweat, and tears, all culminating in this one perfect moment and this glorious object.
A real symbol of victory.
Exactly. But what happens when that symbol, well, tarnishes? That's what we're diving into today.
Oh yeah, over 100 athletes from the Paris 2024 Games have actually had to return their medals because of damage and rust.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? We got a report here from Le Lettre, a French daily newspaper, and they're saying that tons of these medals are just not holding up.
Not at all.
So we're going to take a deep dive into what exactly went wrong. I mean, can you imagine? You've trained your whole life for this moment. You're standing on the podium, and your medal is literally flaking away.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, so this whole thing really started to blow up when American skateboarder Nyjah Huston showed off his bronze medal on social media.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And it looked more like something he dug up in his backyard than a prized possession.
It was in rough shape.
It was totally discolored and chipped. And he wasn't the only one either. Team USA fencer, Mick Itkin rugby 7-star Ilona Mar,
I remember.
French swimmer, Clement Secchi athlete,
Yeah.
Johan Undoy Broad. They've all been reporting similar issues.
It seems to be pretty widespread.
Totally. And Houston even joked online that the Olympics need to step up the quality a little bit. He was saying that his medal started falling apart basically as soon as he got it.
Really?
After just a little sweat and, like, friends handling it. Yeah. British diver Yasmin Harper, hers, started tarnishing within a week.
See, and that's the thing that people don't always realize about metals. They're not these, like, eternally perfect substances. They react to the environment. They change over time.
So are some of these metals basically just on, like, a fast-forward aging program?
Yeah, kind of. Think about it like this. An athlete at the Olympics, they're pushing their bodies to the absolute limit, right? So they're sweating a lot. They need hydration, electrolytes, all those things just to recover. Well, bronze, the metal that most of these metals are made of, it's actually an alloy of copper, zinc, and tin.
Okay.
And just like our bodies need certain things to stay healthy, bronze needs certain conditions to stay pristine. It's vulnerable to the elements, especially air and moisture.
So it's not as simple as just, stamping out a metal and calling it a day.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The composition of the alloy, the way it's treated, even how it's stored, all of that plays a role in how it ages.
That makes sense.
You know how an old penny will turn green over time?
Yeah.
That's copper oxide forming a result of oxidation. The same process happens with bronze, just at a different pace depending on its exact makeup.
So the cheaper metals they use, the quicker it'll tarnish.
Exactly.
Wow, okay.
Oh.
But here's something I don't get. The Paris 2024 medals were designed by Chaumet, right?
Like a huge name in luxury jewelry.
Exactly. So you'd think they'd know a thing or two about metals.
Yeah.
And they even included this really cool detail in the design. A sliver of iron from the Eiffel Tower embedded in each metal.
I did hear about that, yeah.
Yeah. So could that be part of the problem? The iron from the Eiffel Tower somehow reacting with the bronze and causing it to tarnish faster?
It's an interesting thought, but probably not. The Eiffel Tower iron is more of a symbolic element. It's not actually a major part of the metal's overall composition.
Okay, so it's more like a decorative touch.
Exactly. The issue most likely stems from the bronze alloy itself. Think of it like baking a cake. You change the ratio of ingredients, you're going to get a different result.
Right.
Same with bronze. You tweak the proportions of copper, zinc, and tin, and it can drastically affect how durable the metal is and how it reacts to the environment.
So basically someone messed up the recipe.
Potentially. And you know what's even crazier? Le Lettre's report actually revealed that the management team at Monnaie de Paris, the company that actually produced the metals, got fired because of this whole fiasco.
Seriously?
Yeah, and apparently a specific component was banned from being used in the metals, and they didn't have enough time to test how that would impact things.
Wow, so what kind of component could cause this kind of meltdown?
That's the million-dollar question, right? It's tough to say for sure without more info, but my guess is that this missing component was something intended to act as a kind of protective barrier against oxidation.
Interesting.
Maybe a sealant or a specific metal added to the alloy to slow down tarnishing.
So they were trying to cut corners and it backfired.
Well, maybe not intentionally cutting corners, but the lack of testing suggests they didn't fully understand the consequences of banning this component.
So maybe it was a cost-saving measure or something?
Could be. Or perhaps it was due to new regulations, who knows? But the point is they made a change without properly considering the long-term effects.
And now they've got hundreds of tarnished medals and a whole lot of explaining to do.
Exactly.
It's wild, though. You train your whole life for this moment of glory. You win an Olympic medal, and then starts to disintegrate before your eyes.
Yeah, it's got to be rough.
It really makes you wonder about the value we place on material objects versus the actual achievement.
Yeah, it raises a lot of interesting questions. For example, does a tarnished medal make the victory any less significant?
Right.
Or does it point to a larger issue of sustainability? Like, are we prioritizing the appearance of these awards over their longevity and the responsible sourcing of materials?
That's a good point.
Maybe this whole medal meltdown is a wake-up call, a chance to rethink how we approach awards and recognition, making sure that the materials we use truly reflect the enduring nature of the achievement.
It's almost poetic, isn't it? These medals meant to represent enduring greatness, showing their vulnerability.
Definitely makes you think.
So here's something for you listeners to ponder. If you were an Olympian and your medal started to fade, would it diminish your pride in the achievement? Or is the true value in the journey, the dedication, the years of hard work, regardless of what happens to the medal itself?
It's a good question.
Maybe this whole situation will inspire some positive changes in how we think about awards and recognition, ensuring that they actually stand the test of time.
That would be great.
Yeah, fingers crossed.